Okay, our last speaker today was supposed to be Kate Painter, and Kate had to go home sick today, unfortunately. She was really feeling terrible this morning, and so she was here for a little bit, and then she had to leave. She was going to give a presentation on the case studies that we've been working on as a part of the mini-grant program, and so I'm just going to cover that today, just to make sure we feature them. Hillary also gave us a little update at lunch on those, so I hope you'll forgive me. I wasn't prepared to do this, so I'm doing this a little bit off the cuff. Kate had a couple slides prepared, but I'll hope I'll get everything. The good news is I probably won't go the full 15 minutes with them. So the case studies, I think a lot of you are familiar with. They're called Extending Farmer-to-Farmer Learning Digitally. In addition, I think you've seen a lot of the videos. They also have a written component to them. It's probably about an 8 to 10 page document approximately. It's really more inclusive than the videos. Of course, when we're talking about outreach things, depending on the source that you're using, if you're doing a video or written publication, you just capture information differently. And so they really are, the resources are a pair. Those publications are going through review through the WSU fast track system, which unfortunately isn't very fast all the time. And so they've gone through a lot of iterations of edits, but those will be available soon. So some of these that we've started last year that we were promising you, they are coming. Don't worry, we are working on them. The team for the case studies, mainly Georgine Yorgi out of WSU, has been doing the lion's share work of leading up this project. She's just done an amazing job. She's a great taskmaster and just keeping us all involved and focusing on getting these complete. And she really puts out a beautiful product. So in addition to Georgine, there's myself, but even more so Kate Painter and Hillary Davis. Hillary and Kate have incorporated the longitudinal survey results. They really get out there and talk to the growers a lot, and so they've been really instrumental in helping us work on these case studies. And then in addition to the people listed here, I would also say Chad Kruger, Lee Bernacki, Sylvia Cantor, who's still at WSU but no longer with the REACH project, has had a hand in these. So let's see. So the idea behind the case studies that we really wanted to feature, the whole point of them, is that what we know from Extension, regardless of all the expertise in this room and who we have in our network or whatever, the farmers' most trusted sources are other farmers. Where do they get their best information, their most useful information? Time and time again, we hear that they want to get information farmer to farmer. So that's possible, and sometimes we can, through Extension, we can have networks or outlets, meetings, those types of things. But now in the digital age, we are trying to capture some of these resources as videos and these written components so they can learn from one another. And this is a really great story that in the second round of case studies we were reviewing that came out, one grower was really interested. He lives in a extremely Horse Heaven Hills of Washington, very, very low rainfall area, and he's interested, super shallow soils there too, and he's really interested in improving moisture through residue management. So that was something he was looking at, and so he went and he was searching on the internet, just kind of looking through different associations that are kind of dealing with these stresses, and he found somebody in Texas. And this person in Texas was complaining that, oh my gosh, I have a drought. This is the worst year in Texas where we live. We just have no rainfall. And so he went and he looked into it, and he's like, man, you get 12 inches of rainfall. I would love to have 12 inches of rainfall. That's not a drought. To me, that's a normal situation. And so that was just a really great example of how growers can get inspired from one another, from hearing their stories and from listening to one another. So how we make these choices, we choose to work across the AECs, and we try to pick farmers within each of those regions to represent the 4 or 6 regions that we have in the REACH area to address challenges all throughout them. When we choose our growers, we do it very carefully. What we're trying to feature are those people who are making choices now that are mimicking those risks that we might see associated with climate change in the future. Drought, economic challenges, a lot of these things. And so a lot of people currently don't make choices, farming choices based on climate change, but they are making practices, and these risks are going to be similar things. And so we're trying to feature them. We also try to pick some of the ones, people who are easy to speak to, in the video. We have to take those personality types into consideration a little bit too. And so that's where Kate and Hillary's expertise come in very strongly to say, oh, he's a great person to talk to, or this person might not be the best person to feature. So that's how we kind of make some of these choices. Let's see. Sorry about this again. And so how we do that is we write interview questions, and then we go out to the growers. A couple people go, and they go through an interview, and then they record it, and we end up with a transcript. The interview itself is about, 1.5 hours, an hour and a half. And so we end up with this long transcript, this nice long synthesis of a conversation. It's actually great to read. You learn a lot from it. And then we take that, and we pull out the main points. We make it into the publication, and then we work with WSU, a videographer there, to do the videos, to do all the editing. And so mainly the costs of this, even though our team is large, the main cost coming out of the mini grant project is for production and travel, again, because we're representing a very large area. So these have been funded 3 times since 2013. So there's been 3 rounds of case studies. Our goal is to get 10 of them total. And then in addition to these case studies, Patrick Mazza is here with us today. We funded his project, and this was just recently in our past February funding cycle. And so what Patrick is doing is a complementary study. So because of the production that goes into these, it takes a lot of time and it's a lot of overhead. And so we can really only get to 2 or 3 farmers a year with one grant cycle. So what Patrick is doing is he's doing it not quite as in depth, but he's going to be doing smaller case studies. And I think his goal is to maybe talk to 9 or 10 growers. So still doing case studies, but they'll be a little bit abbreviated, but featuring more people. So these are some of the people that we've featured so far. Eric Odeberg is a direct seed producer in Genesee, Idaho. You've probably seen his video if you were at the last REACH meeting. We featured it there when it just came out. So his is focused on variable rate nitrogen. Steve Camp is in Dusty, Washington, a low rainfall area, and he really works on diversification and intensification in his no-till system. They're really at a lot of risk they just can't diversify too much, and so he didn't want to do fallow. He does a lot of work with camelina. Dale Geese is located in Moses Lake, Washington. He's an irrigated producer, and he's grown a mustard cover crop in rotation with his irrigated potatoes. He did it to control nematodes. So that's, again, in an irrigated system featuring cover crops. And so there's a video on him. And then Bill Jepson is down in Heppner, Oregon, and he does a flex cropping system in a 12-inch rainfall zone. So those are the 4 from the first year that we did these. And these are the ones that we're currently working on, that we're pulling together. Jake Madison is down in Echo, Oregon. They used municipal solid waste and potato processing, and so kind of focusing on their irrigation. I'm sorry, I'm not as familiar with that one as some of the other ones. We haven't gotten to that one yet. But Ron and Andy Juris are down in Bickleton, Washington, and these guys are great. And so it's really interesting when we're doing the case studies because we have to pick one topic to feature. But as it turns out, these innovative producers are doing multiple millions of things to improve their farms, and so we're kind of capturing that. We're trying to figure out the best things to capture within the case study and still staying within the scope. And so these guys are doing work with the stripper header and crop diversification and intensification. They're very interested in markets, oilseed, flax, those types of things, again, in their area. And then Ron Gervais is down in Ritzville, Washington. Ron has been an innovative farmer. He was featured in the steep case studies right when he just started direct seeding. He's kind of learned some things since then in the last 15 to 20 years, and so we're revisiting with him to see how he's adapted his practice since then. Mostly what he's doing, he is using an undercutter sweep as part of his his management, but a lot of practices. No-till, strict direct seeding, no-till doesn't work for him, so he's adapted that. And so that's what that case study features, the ways that he's adapted to still have the benefits of no-till, but be able to be more economically viable too. Okay, so here's where they're located. As I mentioned earlier, they're across, we try to really feature our region, so they're located across all the AECs. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. We haven't decided who we're doing in this next round. Those awards were just issued this early February, and we'll be working with Patrick to see who he wants to identify in this area too. Okay, so I want to show one of the videos. I think, do I have time? But one of the things I wanted to say is that we talked earlier today about these networks and how things lead to other things. And Pat, you had a question early about how do we measure impacts, and I kind of said something about, we just, one thing leads to another, and that's really what we've seen with these mini grants. I think we had several examples where they set out to have a project and then they ended up being more than what they set out to do through funding. So one of the things we did where these mini grant or these case studies came into play was I worked on the Direct Seed Association with the Direct and Oil Seed Associations, who have their annual conference, which is one of the best, the largest conferences in the region for growers. And so these mini grants, they wanted to look at doing diversification, innovative practices, the same things. And so we put a panel together, and it really was pulled from these mini grants or these case studies, those panelists. And it was great because the panelists themselves, the growers, two of them that we have the videos for, featured their videos. And they were really, really proud. I mean, it was just great. I don't know if anyone else who was there saw them, but I felt like they were really, really proud of their video of showcasing their work, and that was great. Maybe they were just really excited that they didn't have to put a presentation together, but I think there was more to it than that. I'm being told that I only have 1 minute. And it's just 5 o'clock now. So I'm not going to show the videos. I want to end, but we do have computers up, and they're also on the REACH website. So we'll be letting you know more about those. Those are all accessible now. The first 4 are available. So any questions? Yep, casestudies.reachpna.org. Thank you, Lee. All right, Bill.
Kristy, I just wanted to mention that was the most popular session during that 3-day conference, was that grower panel. Mm-hmm. So great. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I know that Kay Meyer, the director of the PNDSA, also showcased them down at the Tri-State Grain Society. She played them on a loop there. So they're getting out there. They're being used. People are really excited about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kristy, just to let you know that I used them in class in Texas as well.
Fantastic.
Just as a good example of growers teaching growers.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. And the publications, too. Those are going to be great resources, I think, for classes and conversations as well. So, yeah, thank you. Okay, so yeah, that's the wrap-up of the mini grant projects. Lots going on. I think it's incredibly impactful. So if you could just, we could thank our speakers one more time, we can conclude the session.